You know, any day I'm not a convicted felon and rapist that had to sit and quietly watch a whole jury full of people look me in the eyes and say guilty 34 times is definitely a good one. Hi, I'm Spike.
I'm Kel, and you really dating this episode, like carbon dating it, exact day.
Why not?
Um,
Hi, Casey. How's it going? Hi, everyone.
um,
Oh, shit. Are we.
hello.
Is this episode 73? I don't think it is. Sorry, I'm still bad
You,
at this. Let me fix this. Let's automatically, even more so, just lock it into the time zone. Episode 74. Um, that's a little long. We can move it though. Uh, maybe we should shrink it a little too. How about that? And centered. There we go.
I want you to know that before this episode went live, and before we got the good news,
Yes.
I saw that the episode was labeled "all complaining all the time," and then I told after the good news dropped, I told Spike, "Well, now we need to change the title." Um, and uh and Spike was like, "What? I thought I already did change the title." And then finally you realized, "Oh wait, that was like
Yeah,
you
it's
got to
not
change
because
it
it's
to
not complaining.
celebrating."
It's not complaining. It's a good night. It's a good day to be alive, everyone. I hope you all are having the kind of day I am. It's been a wild few days for me, a real roller coaster, but today is definitely a good day. Today is definitely a good day. Hi, Netfisher. Hi, Assumption Prime. Hi, Aether Tales. Hi, Plot. Hi, Snake of June. Thank you for coming. We'll try and talk about something else. We genuinely will, but no
No,
promises.
yeah, let's talk about something else.
It's times
Spike.
like this I think about a cartoonist who his name means something to you if you're old like me, but probably doesn't mean anything to you if you are not a fucking decrepit dinosaur. His name is Patrick Farley, and he used to, I don't know if it's still around or not, have a comic site called E-Sheep, and it was really good. And I remember during the Trump presidency when shit was just like really fucking bleak, he tweeted something to the effect of, "It's okay, everybody. One day this will all be over and Trump will die in prison." And at the time, I thought to myself, well, that's a massive cope. It's like it feels like this huge make me
I
feel better.
I still think he
Mm-hmm.
probably won't die in prison.
But he,
I will believe it when I see it.
yeah, he could die right before prison. He could. He,
No, I think that he might get put under house arrest because that's
yeah,
what happens with rich people.
yeah. See,
Um,
people say shit like that, and I'm kind of the belief that, all right, like despair and pessimism, it can be a little lazy in my opinion, which isn't to say that it's misguided to say rich people are never proportionally punished in comparison to the harm they functionally do, which is true. But the kind of people who literally, no matter what, like, oh, he's being convicted in New York, well, he'll never go to trial. Oh, he's going to trial, he'll never be found guilty. Oh, he's been found guilty, oh, he'll never get punished. It's like, what are you basing this on?
it's just more. I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah, I'll believe it when I see it. Is, there are still people trying to do the whole ah well, but nevertheless about this. It's like, what is there to ah well, nevertheless about this? He went to trial and got convicted. He's a fucking felon. It did what it was supposed to do. There
No,
is no ah well,
that's
nevertheless
great,
about
and
this.
I am definitely with you. I'm just
Yeah. Yeah.
him dying in prison is the part I'm
Yes.
I, I don't
Hey,
know.
nudist. Yeah. Typhoid Mary's old island is currently empty. That is a fascinating story. I fucking love the Typhoid Mary story because it's just so much about what people straight up just will refuse to believe. Although there's been a lot of sort of Typhoid Mary revisitation in the past few
Mhm.
years. And I'm sure everyone knows the story, but for the sake of those that don't, there was a woman who was an Irish maidservant. She was a cook. And it's worth noting that being the cook in the household of servants back in the day was kind of like the highest position you could have. Like, people would try and steal you away from your employer if they really liked your cooking because they wanted you to work in their household. So there was a big opportunity to be paid very well if you were a rich person's cook specifically. And that's the top of the servitude totem pole. And the bottom of the servitude totem pole was laundress for various reasons. One primarily being, and I am not exaggerating, a drunk person could do it. Like, a drunk person could wash clothes and it'd be fine. So a lot of people
slight disagree, Spike.
Yeah.
Butlers were the top.
Okay.
Because the cook is very high. It's just the butler is the top.
Okay. Well, I'm talking specifically, like, let's say women servants. How about that?
Because there's the lady's maid or whatever.
Yeah, but like a lady's maid isn't really like a servant. Anyway, I'm not going to get into it. I'm trying to tell stories.
So it is still technically a servant, and that's why it's the top. The fact you were like, but does it count is why it was the top, is because...
But, Typhoid Mary was a cook, and she was a really good cook. But she also was one of the incredibly rare people who contracted typhoid fever, which was there's no bones about it, it was a filth-related disease. And you got it from excrement. And she contracted it, but she did not display symptoms. According to her, she never actually had typhoid in a recognizable way. But they colonized her gallbladder and were all over her feces. And straight up, we have to understand that she just did not wash her fucking hands. Because that's the only way this makes sense. That she didn't wash her hands before she cooked. Because she gave a whole lot of people typhoid. And she did it usually when the food was not cooked. When it was like ice cream. That's when she started giving people typhoid. Because it wouldn't die from the heat. And so she would go to these rich people's houses. And she would cook for them for a while. And she would give them typhoid. And eventually the New York Health Service, I think it was, tracked her down. And they're like asking after a cook who at the time they called her Irish Mary. And they like basically confronted her. And they were like, here's the thing. You are giving people typhoid. You're literally fucking killing people. Like, you're killing children. You need to not cook for people. And she was like, this is clearly anti-Irish bias, which was absolutely a thing. You are doing this because you do not want me to be a cook, because that means I'm getting ahead and I'm doing well in life and I can send money back home to my family. And you don't want me to do that because you hate Irish people, because America hates Irish people. You are making up some bullshit about how my mere presence gives people typhoid. And I don't believe you. And they're like, no, seriously, you are giving people typhoid. You're killing people. And she didn't believe them. And eventually they like imprisoned her. And she said, okay, fine, you know what? I'll do whatever you want, but I won't cook again. If you let me go, I'll become a laundress. And they were like, okay, that's acceptable. But sure enough, like a year later...
she just changed her name.
Yeah, she was Mary Fallon or something. And she went back to cooking, because how can you say no to that sweet money? And they found her again very easily, because again, she gave a whole household typhoid. And because she proved she wasn't going to listen to them and she was just going to do what she wanted. And keep in mind, when they say, you know, she did it voluntarily, she refused to have surgery and live out her life on that island away from everybody else. Yeah, it was, you know, air quotes voluntarily, but you have to consider the state of surgery at that point in time. Like, that, just taking out her gallbladder, that's not a big deal these days, but back then that could have absolutely fucking killed you. And so she refused to let them cut on her. And so she had to go live isolated on an island for the rest of her life, because they couldn't trust her to not go cook for people, because they already did once and she did it. And she wouldn't have surgery to get her gallbladder removed. Typhoid Mary is a complicated situation. Very much so, Kristen Chaney. God, speaking of like depressing islands though, in New York... So we all know about Hart Island, right? H-A-R-T. Oh my god. Okay, so
No.
Hart Island is if you die in New York and you have no next of kin and they can't identify you and they can't find a place to put your body, you go to Hart Island.
Why is
And
it named?
say what, Kel? Oh, I can't hear you. Your little guy's mouth is flapping, but I'm not hearing nothing. Oh boy, I hope you folks can hear me. I hope my connection didn't just die. Looks okay on my end. Hey, Kel, just FYI, if you're talking, I cannot hear you, okay? That's weird. But yeah, okay. We're just gonna wait for Kel to get back, and I'm gonna talk about Hart Island. Hart Island is where you go if you have no one to take care of you, of your dead body, and they can't figure out who you are, or if they can figure out who you are, but there's no one who wants to claim you. You basically get buried on Hart Island, and it's heart like a male deer as opposed to heart like an organ. And Hart Island kind of got a big precedent kind of thing because during COVID,
I'm restarting my router.
oh, there's Kel. Hello.
Why is Hart Island named after deers?
Probably because there were deer on it at some point. Like I don't know, but that's
I missed the rest of your story because my internet cropped out.
Yeah, that's okay. Oh, your stream has ended. We have to close your stream. Oh dear. Hey, try.
Or maybe it was your internet that crapped out.
No, everyone heard me. I'm still here.
Okay.
Yeah, but Stinky Death Island, as Snake of June is calling it, it made a comeback in the media during COVID because there were so many people dying so fast. They buried them on Hart Island, and you could find this like helicopter footage of the mass graves that are on Hart Island. And there are a couple notable people buried on Hart Island. One of them was one of those Hollywood kids whose parents spent all their money when they were a child actor. I forget who it was. You know what? I'm going to look it up because it's going to drive me insane if I don't find out. God, I was Googling shit about Amy Fisher. Why was I doing that? Anyway. Hart Island burials. I know one of the really, really famous burials is the first infant AIDS mortality is buried on Hart Island too. Let's see. In America, I should note.
Okay, I can restart my stream now. My internet is back up.
Also a thing about Hart Island is the people doing the burials there, they are, I believe, Rikers Island inmates. So yeah. Let's see. Notable people buried. Here we go. Okay, a playwright named Leo Berinsky, who was buried after dying alone in poverty. That's kind of how most of these go. Bobby Driscoll, that's who it is. Academy Award winner Bobby Driscoll. The little boy who, if you've ever seen Song of the South or Treasure Island, that was him. That was him. And keep in mind, he's old. Like, he was an old school actor, so he was in Hollywood before there were laws where you had to put a percentage of a child actor's earnings into a trust fund so that only they would have access to when they turned 18. So his parents spent all his fucking money, like all of it. And when he turned 18 and he was no longer marketable because he wasn't a cute little boy anymore, he was penniless. And he became a junkie and he died alone in a New York tenement. And when they found him, they had no idea who he was. He got buried on Hart Island. And one of the wacky things about Hart Island, I suppose if by wacky you mean terrifying and horrible. Oh, hey, hi, Amanda. What's up, Jagoff? One of the terrifying things about Hart Island is that you couldn't visit Hart Island. Like, they wouldn't let you go there. So for a long time, people were campaigning to visit relatives they knew were buried there, and like New York State was like, no. I don't know if that's still the case. I think they do allow you to visit Hart Island graves now, but that wasn't always the case. Kristen Cheney, parents still manage to do that to their kid. They do.
It's just harder.
It's a lot harder now, yeah. But you know, if you're a parent and you want to abuse your children for income, the real money's on YouTube.
Yeah.
That's where the real money is. You don't bother with Hollywood.
Yeah. The last few Behind the Bastards have really been grifter mommy bloggers haven't changed since forever. There have always been grifter mommy bloggers.
Yeah, the mommy bloggers are kind of crazy, and also the family vloggers in general. The thing that kind of disturbs me a little bit is it's really obvious sometimes that real life human beings are being brought into this world because their influencer mommy and daddy are out of ideas. It's like they're in the 5th season of a sitcom that's outlived its usefulness, but they're not ready to pull the plug yet, so they just have a kid. And the child literally only exists so they can make family blog content, and that must be a horrible thought. Ryan, yes! Oh my god, Ryan's World, Steak of June, yes! For folks who don't know, Ryan is a little boy who got his start on YouTube doing unboxing vids, which is like this... Here's the thing, the algorithm is so fucking insidious, man. There are these entire, like scenes on YouTube that you don't have access to because YouTube never shows them to you. And so you don't even know they exist. And for a long time, for all of us, I imagine, but for me, for a long time, children's YouTube was a thing I, of course, like, never looked at. And at some point, I heard about Ryan, and I was like, I want to see this kid's shit. Like, what's going on? He has millions and millions of views, and a lot of them are for unboxing videos. And unboxing videos are something that, you know, adult YouTube does too, but child YouTube unboxing videos are just like, I got a Lego set, let's put it together. I got a Kinect set, let's put it together. I got a Hot Wheels toy, let's play with it. And that's all it is. And once you start watching that shit, YouTube starts dragging you into like videos of a man who has set up a folding table in his backyard, and then he just dumps $500 worth of candy on it. Just opens the bag and like dumps Milk Duds and Skittles and like Halloween Snickers and stuff on a table in his backyard until it's in a big pile. And then he runs his fingers through it. And that's the whole video. And that's like 50 million views. It's fucking wild. No, I can't suggest it, but it's fascinating to know it's there just beyond the viewpoint, beyond view, you know? Yeah, the direct for kids is absolutely insane, Miss Ellismere. Weird toy stuff. Also, I think I've mentioned this before, but there is kid content, technically, air quotes, kid content I do watch and enjoy. And my personal favorite is probably Skibbity Toilet. It started out with me like trying to figure out like what are the kids into, what do they like, and now I've watched all of it, and it's actually pretty good stuff. And I don't know any other way. It's like you can't explain Skibbity Toilet to someone without sounding completely insane and juvenile, but I'm gonna try. It started off very stupid. It's all done in like Source Filmmaker, so if you remember the TF2 cartoons that were really popular a while back and kind of still are, you know what this looks like. And it's like the man from Half-Life, what's his name? You know, like the secret agent dude from Half-Life with the suitcase. It's him, but really, really deformed, and his head is poking out of a toilet. And he's singing like a goofy, like, electro music song, and it starts off that way with people like dancing to this head in a toilet singing a stupid song, and now it's at this point where it's about like global warfare and mechs and godlike beings rescuing the remnants of humanity. It's like every webcomic from that was like from the late 90s, early 2000s. If they're still going, it's like they're kind of like Skibbity Toilet, where they started off as, hey, we're a couple of silly guys, and then 10 years later they're actually machine gunning God. Like, that's kind of where Skibidi Toilet is right now. They're machine gunning God. And it's really good. It's one of those things where I can't really go into the plot. It's just war, and I can wholeheartedly recommend it to you. Like, set aside an evening to watch through like maybe the first 50 Skibidi Toilets, and I don't think you'll be disappointed. Yeah, we should call it, Snake of June, we should call it the Sluggy Freelance Pipeline.
I feel like what people are getting out of Skibidi Toilet is probably what people are getting out of Dream MSP.
Oh my god. See, that I have not even begun to scratch the surface of.
Oh, I have a friend that really likes it, and they gave a PowerPoint explaining it to how they spent their birthdays. They made a PowerPoint, and they're like, I'm going to explain Dream MSP to all my friends. And I did not know that a large chunk of it is based off Hamilton fanfiction.
Oh my god, no.
The thing is like, the folks who were like, let's do Hamilton fanfiction is like, they're all British.
Huh.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I've never...
Wild.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with Dream stuff beyond the fact that there's a guy, his name is Dream, he does Minecraft videos. Those are somehow, against all logic and reason, still incredibly popular. And there are real people who he plays Minecraft with, like real actual living breathing people he plays Minecraft with, that all the fans like to imagine them kissing each other when, you know, in real life they are definitely not kissing each other, but that's where fandoms so like eternally go.
The defense of the people who want that to happen,
yeah,
is they frequently talk about how they're married in Minecraft. So okay. That is one of the things I learned, is like, the shippers are not randomly shipping YouTubers they like. Mm-hmm. It is they're shipping YouTubers they like who are constantly like, we're basically married. Mm. Like, this is my husband and this is my other husband. Like, this is how they talk about each other on stream.
Yeah, and then like Dream got in a weird fight with somebody else. It was like a ridiculous weird fight in an Uber.
Yes.
Let me see who that was. See, I'm just gonna Google Dream Uber fight. What is even happening? Why are we even talking about this shit? Oh god, there's so much. There's so much. Oh. Who the fuck is Cantu? I don't know who any of these people are. This will be more meaningful if I knew who these people were. But yeah, he got in like, I think it was like a child actor, a former child actor, got in a fight with him in a cab. Because Dream tried to like go out and be cool or something, like flex on the hose. And as a result, I don't know, maybe the dude decided to give him a hard
Dream
time. Huh?
Are you sure this is Dream?
No, I'm pretty sure. I thought it was Dream. Yeah, it's
that
the guy.
Sounds too outgoing for Dream, but okay.
I don't know.
Because Dream is also the guy who revealed his face and people were calling him ugly.
Which I thought was really unfair. He's a perfectly average looking kid.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with him.
So him like going out to flex like feels out of character from a man who hid his face for as long as possible.
I could swear it's real. It's like someone's going to be like, oh, I remember that. He was also the voice actor for Gumball. Thank you, Snake of June. Yeah, the voice actor for Gumball and Dream got in a weird fight in an Uber, and it became like international news because that's the hell world we live in. God,
this happened very recently.
Yeah, that's the world we live in. This fucking insane bullshit is happening all the time, and of course, like, the news cycle is so fast nowadays, and so much is always happening. People will miss things all the time. So all this shit is going on, and I don't find out about it until, like, 3 years later. And I'm like, God damn it, this probably would have been fun to follow while it was happening.
Okay, it makes sense that the fight happened recently, because he has not been playing Minecraft recently.
What's he been playing recently?
Well, so the thing is that here's some drama that I learned. The server had a quote unquote story, which is partly Hamilton fan fiction.
On purpose?
Yeah.
Okay.
So they ended the story
Mm-hmm.
of the server.
Okay.
And it was a way to, like, you know, because when they started this, they were all like 17-year-olds during COVID.
Oh, true. Good point. Yeah.
So after a couple of years, it's like, well, COVID is not happening anymore. Like, as far as the government, U.S. government's concerned.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to go out and do more things rather than play Minecraft all day.
It's
Or I
forced
want
mistake.
to maybe play other games.
Mm-hmm.
And so this like quote unquote story end of the server is so they could like break off and do whatever other things they wanted.
Okay. Fair enough.
So it's good on paper.
Yeah. Makes
The
sense.
problem is that one person on the server started their own server that was more international and was more bilingual because this was I think that this person's Spanish is their first language.
Yeah, this is the Mexican member. At least I think.
And so yeah, so it's basically because it was more international and more inclusive, other big Minecraft people from around the world got in on it. And
Okay.
because Dream had not started his new server, I guess he got jealous that like this guy was a bigger deal than him now. Like,
okay.
because he was like, I'm also starting a new server,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not up yet. And he kept like talking about things he was gonna do with his new server, and like they got into a really pissy like Twitter fight, and like in a way that only teenagers that don't have full control of their impulse control can do. Like,
yeah, naturally.
Like the best example, the best like reasoning for this fight is if your friend that you used to hang out with a lot gets another friend and they're hanging out with them a lot without you,
Mm-hmm.
like that sort of jealousy, but they're not old enough to emotionally deal with that.
Oh my
Um
god. So messy. Just messy.
yeah, so it was like messy and weird. And then like, why are you ignoring me? Like, pay attention to me. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
kind of. So it makes sense that if he was going to get into a fight, a real fight with someone, it is recently, not like at the peak of his server popularity.
The brain ain't done cooking. Tell me about it, Miss Ellesmere.
Because he has not been playing as much Minecraft lately.
Oh. I am one of those people who bought Minecraft way back when. I bought Minecraft so long ago, I sent money directly to Notch's PayPal. And I have fallen off the wagon in a big way. Like, my drug of choice these days is RimWorld.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if I'm ever going to go back to it. Because every time I check in on Minecraft, some more crazy bullshit I have no idea how to deal with is going on. And I don't mean drama-wise, I mean the fucking game. Like, I'll see, oh, wow, this is a person I've never seen do a Let's Play before, and they're doing Minecraft. Let's see how, what the fuck is that? What the fuck is that? What the fuck is that? Okay, I guess I'm just never playing Minecraft again, because I don't know how anymore. Like, they have new animals and new dimensions and new spells and all kinds of new shit, and it's like, I don't know how to deal with any of it. It just seems like a lot. It seems like a lot. Because apparently video games need to, like, live forever now. They can never be over. So they need constant updates every 5 seconds. And Minecraft has been getting those updates while I haven't been paying attention to it. And now it has a rich and complex lore that I am fully unprepared to tackle.
Well, it's also, are they updates or are they mods?
Oh no, they're updates. They're updates.
Okay.
And apparently they're like community updates, like they're voted on and everything. And so I guess they're what the community wants, but I don't understand them. The one that looked kind of interesting to me is they were talking about how they wanted to add archaeology to Minecraft. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Like, I'd like
That makes sense.
Yeah, I could like dig up bones and pots and stuff. That sounds like fun. But the rest of it is like, there are evil ghosts now. It's like, oh, well, not part of the experience that I would hope for. And there are angels that will murder you. Okay, I don't know how to handle that either. I think I'm just gonna not do that. Ah, archaeology is in it. That's good to know, Amanda. Yeah, oh, Daryl. Daryl is saying, I think last year if you didn't move your Minecraft account over to an Xbox account, I don't think you have Minecraft anymore. I do have Minecraft. I actually moved it over because if I'm anything, I'm a fucking cheapskate. So I don't, like, I bought it. I'm keeping it. So I moved it over in like the last few days when you could do that. However, my husband lost his Minecraft account at some point. And I think we both figured out he's not sure how, but he think it got phished. Because it's just like not there anymore and his password doesn't work. So it probably got phished and taken away and then banned because it was doing illegal shit. So only I have Minecraft now. And it's so old, I think it's called Templar, Arizona. That's how old my Minecraft account is.
So, here's the thing, like, that has happened to me a few times that I just absolutely don't understand. It's not that my email got hacked. It's that someone used my email to sign up for a thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, but they put in their credit card information and their address and, like,
that's
so
weird.
They're not, like, charging me for anything. I'm just getting emails every time they buy something. And I'm just like, this is weird.
Yeah. That is weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, that happens to Matt. My husband's name is Matt Sheridan, and it's a pretty common name. There are a lot of Matt Sheridans out there. And as a result, sometimes people think they're putting in a bullshit email address, and it's not. It's my husband. When they don't want to give the site their real email address. So he'll get email from Matt Sheridans who are clearly like off doing things on the internet. Not necessarily like nefarious shit, but shit where you can imagine they don't necessarily want to receive more spam mail about this. So they just tell them, oh yeah, I'm Matt Sheridan at gmail.com, you know, and Matt will get their email. And sometimes if he feels it's important enough, he will write them and be all like, hey, I got your email. I looked up all the Matt Sheridans on the internet. This seems pretty important. I think you need your plane tickets.
That happened to them and that they canceled that person's Wall Street Journal deliveries out of spite.
You should do that. Yeah.
So what happened to me is around the time PlayStation 3 came out, someone made a PlayStation account with my email.
Yeah.
So I got updates every time they bought a video game for PlayStation 3.
Weird.
But now I have a PlayStation 5 and I would like to use my email.
For a PlayStation account, yeah.
So I just changed their password. And put in my contact info.
Well, if they haven't fixed it by now, you know.
Yeah, like, but it's like my PlayStation account has all these achievements for games that I've never played. Because this person, clearly, like, because it hadn't updated in a while, so they clearly had a PlayStation 3, and then stopped using a PlayStation account after PlayStation 4 came out. But yeah, and now I have a PlayStation 5, so the account's mine now. But it has happened to me multiple times. It's just usually it's not stuff that I'm actually interested in. So
Oh shit, Miss Ellesmere says they're about to add mounts to Vintage Story. Oh god. Oh, I should get back to playing that. For folks who don't know, Vintage Story is like Minecraft for grown folks. It's really fun.
On June 8th, I'm gonna teach my friend Bones how to play RimWorld.
Oh hey.
Um
RimWorld.
I've given them all the instructions on like these are the good mods. This is the good shit. You gotta
Yeah, my
get
mod
it.
list is like 320 something mods long. I got so many mods now.
What was very funny is so I like the YouTuber Jack Saint.
Mm-hmm.
And he was talking about he showed a clip of Susan B. No, you cannot download PlayStation 3 games onto your PlayStation 5 unless you pay for their like streaming subscription and play old games. No, that I unfortunately cannot play all the games that they purchased. Anyway, but Jack Saint posted, he's like, I've played a lot of RimWorld, and then he posted a clip of like the stream total amount you've played. He is like, RimWorld has totally taken over my life, and I play way too much of it. I'm a crazy person now because of how much RimWorld I played. And it said he played for 5,000 hours.
I have played for...
No, not 5,000, 500 hours.
Oh, 500. Okay.
And he played for 500 hours. And so that led to Bones, who also watches his videos, to message me to be like, he says 500 hours is an insane amount of playing RimWorld. Kel, how many hours of RimWorld have you played?
How many have you played?
I think probably 2,500.
All right, my number is really fucked up and wrong because RimWorld is at this point so heavily modded for me that it's easier to just leave it on all the time to run in the background because launching it is kind of a gamble. But my RimWorld is logging 5,656 hours.
So, Spike, I don't leave it running in the background, and I have half that many hours.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I think this means that I might have actively played RimWorld close to, if not more than you.
Yeah. I am going to actually do a thing now. I'm going to show everyone what I've been up to because I'm so fucking happy because some shit just went down and I'm really pleased about it. So, this is going to sound demented. I'm sorry. I have a colony. It is a colony that I'm playing right now. And their whole deal is they are supremacists. They think they're better than everybody else. They're cannibals. They're just shitty people. It's really fun. Being shitty in RimWorld is fun. And they kept having this negative mood thing that just said, we have no alien slaves. We have some human slaves, but we would like some alien slaves. And I was like, okay, well, RimWorld doesn't have aliens, so I'm going to have to go get some mods because clearly one mod is demanding something that the base game does not currently have. So let me try and figure this shit out. Let me see what I can do here. And I went and found a mod for aliens. And I was like, yeah, okay, I can work with this. And what I'm about to show you is what these aliens are. It's the dumbest shit on the face of the earth. Here they are. Here are the aliens. The aliens, in case it's not clear, are little tiny mouse furries. They're little cute. They're all white, so they're like lab rat furries. And in case you're not like completely clear on what's going on here, they have these mounts they ride, which are giant guinea pigs. And so every once in a while, like this is what my colony normally looks like since, you know, this is new. I have humans in the colony. These are all humans, despite the fact some of them have horns and shit, because they're just altered genetics humans. And one of them is like a giant, so his little portrait can barely fit in the square. But he is a human. They're all humans. And then I just added these people. So I'm trying to like have my day and do my shit. And then suddenly these little like Robin Hood mice will show up and they're all like, we are here to sell you trail mix. And it's like, okay, so I have to enslave one of you. Let me figure out how how I'm going to do that, because if I don't figure out how to enslave one of you, my people are going to be miserable forever. And again, just for a little context here, here's what they look like in a full frontal. They have this kind of like conquistador fashion sense, and here's what a normal human looks like next to them. And there they are with their little cavi, their giant cavi, I should say. Mounts. And I should note, by the way, the cabbies poop. Whenever they bring their fucking cabbies everywhere, the cabbies poop everywhere, and I have to clean it up. And when I went and looked in the like notes on this race, they brew like coffee out of the cavi poop, which is like, that's, you know, fucking disgusting. So I have no qualms about grabbing one of these to enslave, which is what I did. I grabbed one to enslave. For some reason, they were all really old. Like everyone who comes to visit my colony is really old, and I want someone young. So I had to do my best. And I have kidnapped Petal Ears here. She is upside down, sorry, because that's the way RimWorld orients shit. Let's see if I can flip this vertically. There, maybe you get a better look at her now, even though the text is now backwards. But so what we did is we used something called Architect, which is like super advanced bullshit, you know, might as well be magic tech. And we converted her to joining our side when she came with her little trading group. And we have stuck her in our terrible hospital where she is being drip-fed paste made from ground-up human bodies while we indoctrinate her with our religion that says actually being a slave totally rules, especially to Hugh. H-U-G-H. He's the leader of our colony. And our colony is kind of like, if you've ever played Fallout New Vegas, there is like the state of Ted or something. It's kind of like that. So she has been indoctrinated, and now everybody is really thrilled because we have an alien slave in the form of this little mouse girl who squeaks, by the way. I should note she squeaks. When she walks around, she squeaks. So that's where we're at with everything. And I'm not sorry. It's real convenient to have, because the thing is that she's a mouse. Part of the reason I went for them is they can't fight back. Because slave rebellions are a thing in RimWorld, so you don't want like big, strong slaves because they'll beat your ass.
That's why my lesbian mad scientists don't have slaves. Because I don't got the patience to deal with slave rebellions.
Yeah.
But we do, you know, cut the legs off people that we mutate into part cows and have them just lie in bed while we milk them all day. So it's like factory farming, but with people that are sentient.
The mod, Miss Ellesmere, the mod is called Mousekin. Just Mousekin, all one word, Mousekin. And it's great because, again, if they rebel or they try and fight, they're very weak. And they don't, since they are space aliens, that's important because since they're space aliens, I cannot really genetically alter them, so I can't give them xenogenes that will make them more suitable to being enslaved. I have to actually make sure that there's somebody where, for example, if the base is at half strength because I sent a bunch of people across the map to do something, and there's a massive slave rebellion, that I won't come home to a flaming pile of rubble. You know, that I can handle. Whoever I leave behind can handle whatever happens. Yes. Oh, there's a rat folk tribe. Oh, let me look that up. Hold on. I wonder if they're by the same person. Yeah, see, this is all
Probably.
RimWorld.
There's a bunch of furry mods in there.
Yeah. I might get House Roxmont too. That's a new one. That's like a medieval one, and it's like really pretty. But the thing is, it's like, the thing about medieval mods in RimWorld is it always feels kind of like weird. Like, why would these people be living this way in the fucking far-flung future? So I always have like a little bit of, you know, cognitive dissonance whenever I try and do a medieval playthrough.
I'm now looking up mods.
Yeah, me too. We shouldn't be doing this, but we are.
Yeah, you've distracted us.
I've done horrible things. Oh, are those the rat folk? Let's see them. Oh no, that's just that's just people in masks. Okay, I need more aliens. One of the things that I'm really disappointed in, and part of the reason I downloaded some aliens, is I also have slug people in my rim world, but because of the face mods I use, the slug people don't have slug heads, and that makes me really sad because the slug heads are really disgusting. I really want my slug people to have slug heads, but I'm not a modder. I don't know how to fix that.
So when your people want enslaved aliens, they don't count the like weird Wookiee species.
No, they
as
don't
an
count
alien?
Wookiees. They don't count genies. They don't count hussars. They don't count high mates,
Oh,
low mates, none of that, because those are humans. They're okay with like
huh,
human slaves. They want human slaves too, but they also wanted alien slaves, and I didn't have any aliens.
huh.
A group of elephants just wandered into my tribe. Soup's on. Sounds like. Oh, also, fantastic news for anyone who gives a shit. But my favorite mod of all time has been updated for 1.5. It's called Save Our Ship, and it lets you actually blast off and like go to different planets and stuff. It's the fucking best. I love Save Our Ship, and it's ready for
I'm
1.5.
now looking at the ones that I like that haven't updated yet.
Yeah.
Don't Block the Door hasn't updated yet. That's
I can barely exist
so
without it.
sad. Complex Jobs, that one hasn't updated yet. And Giddy Up.
How can Giddy Up not have updated yet? I know. Oh, where's my free entertainment? But still.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pharmacist mod that I have hasn't updated yet.
Yeah, I fucking love Save Our Ship. And for folks who have never played it, just trust me, give it a
Farmable
shot.
Nutranium is one that I like that has not updated yet. And that makes me sad.
Yeah. But RimWorld is great because it is basically a playset.
Yeah.
Gosh dang. I'm trying to figure out what I want to do.
I think when I am done streaming Baldur's Gate, I will start to stream RimWorld on Sunday nights.
Yeah. I keep thinking about wanting to stream RimWorld, but I'm like, no, that's me time. That's decompression time. I want to actually, do something and not be one of the people where everything's got to be content,
Well, so the reason why I'm doing it is actually so I don't play all day.
Okay.
The reason why I have 2,500 hours in RimWorld is because if I turn on a video game, that's all I'm doing the rest of the day.
Oh, okay.
And if I turn on a video game late at night, I will stay up playing till 5 in the morning. So I can't finish my work and play a video game because then I'll stay up till 5 a.m. And I can't I'll play in the morning before I start work because then I'll play till 10 p.m.
Yeah, you have to know yourself, I guess.
So playing Baldur's Gate on stream is to make me stop after 3 hours because people can't watch if I go longer than that.
Okay. That's a good way to sort of meter out your behavior, I guess. By the way, folks, I hope I sound better this week because I've futzed about with my microphone a little bit, so I should be a little louder, a little clearer. I haven't seen anybody saying, "Wow, Spike's quiet," so hopefully, I'm not. I fixed it. But yeah, God, I am actually. Oh God, I have so many fucking mods. Like I used to have a what is that mod list I maintained, but it is so far behind now. I like it's so out of date. Oh, I'm pencil ears. Thank you. I'm glad to hear the sound is better. Hooray! I fixed it because I care. I don't want to just put garbage out into the world, unlike some people. Anyway, and now here comes the difficult part.
Yeah.
Where I need to figure out how I'm going to. So basically, what is going to be happening here is the top panel is just Bettany going, "Give me your hand," and Ta going, "No, I'm fine." And Bettany goes, "Suit yourself, keep up." And then he walks off. And as it opens up and gets darker, Ta's like, "Oh, huh, this is kind of dark and weird. And it's got to get
Spike, I'm
fun.
gonna go to the bathroom while you talk about your Keebler elves.
The Keebler
I'll be
elves.
right back.
Five old mouse and the Keebler elves. Get it right. And I now got to figure out how dark I want to make this. Like, ugh. So I'm just gonna. How did I handle this on the last page? Right, lots of little bitsy lines. Lots of little bitsy lines. I've been trying to absorb some stuff I saw on Blue Sky a couple weeks ago, I think it was, where it was talking about if you don't like drawing backgrounds, chances are it's because you keep trying to draw backgrounds like someone else. You should try and draw backgrounds how you want to draw backgrounds. And I'm all like, oh, wow, yeah, I don't really like backgrounds. That's absolutely true. And so this is me trying to figure out, to this day, even though I'm fucking old and I should have had this figured out by now, but art is an eternal learning process, blah, blah, blah. This is me trying to figure out how I like to draw backgrounds. And hopefully, because it's like whenever I do backgrounds, it's either like it's this all-in ridiculous big splash page or it's nothing. You know, and I don't want it to be like that. I want more panels with backgrounds than not backgrounds, and not like cheaty ones where it's, you know, just like black square or something.
Spike, as someone who enjoys drawing backgrounds, I think the other reason why people dislike drawing backgrounds is because they are not thinking about the backgrounds as a character. Because a lot of the people who don't like to draw backgrounds, but they like to draw characters all the time because they're thinking about like, oh, this is the type of fashion they'd wear. This is like these character details talk about their personality. But then when it comes time to draw that character's bedroom, they're not putting that same amount of thought into the character. So they're just like, oh shit, I have to draw their bedroom. Here's a bed and here's a table, and
yeah, probably
it looks like an IKEA catalog rather than like, here's all the shitty bands this teen would like, or just little details like that. And I feel like that makes backgrounds more fun to do, is who lives here.
If you say.
Also, if it's an outdoor scene, putting animals in.
The answer to better backgrounds is even more work.
Little raccoons digging through the trash, pigeons, bean pigeons, but yeah. Yes, it is more work, but it's also more fun. I love thinking of dumb things to put on signs in the background. I love all the dumb signs in BoJack Horseman, and I want equally dumb signs in the background of all of my comics.
Anteaters with mounted turrets. I saw a video of an anteater like last week. It was fucking incredible. I didn't know anteaters had tongues that just went like a mile. They're so great. They're fantastic. I love them. And they look very serious all the time, even though they technically have no expressions. Also, porcupines. Porcupines are fucking fantastic, but I think the internet found out all about porcupines. Everyone found out about porcupines all at the exact right time. You found out they like make noises all the time. Like they sound like Minecraft villagers. If you've never heard a porcupine, that's what they sound like, a Minecraft villager. They're fucking amazing. There we go. Okay. Also, this is what happens when you write as you go. I have solved this issue, but it's an issue that I'm glad I remembered before I got too far. So they're walking into a cave, right? Like previous page here, they're actually walking into a cave. They are bringing nothing with them. They have no lights, and it's going to get very dark in there. And I'm glad I remembered. Oh right, okay. On the upcoming pages, I need to do something about the light. So instead of just having them walk into a cave, and it's like, how are they seeing anything? It's pitch black in there. Is Kimosabi still alive, Miss Ellesmere? I loved Kimosabi.
So what are they doing for light in the dark cave, Spike?
There's going to be a combination of shafts of light coming in through the ceiling that are clearly carved in, and also there's going to be basically I guess the best way to call it is like a base camp in the big
that makes
main
sense.
room. Yeah.
Especially like if they're but yeah. It would make sense, especially if it's like their regular burial place to have.
It's basically their church.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a real simplification, but it's basically their church. So there's going to be supplies there for people who like want to visit or something. And that's another reason why what they're doing is pretty fucking stupid, by the way. People can visit, which is why they left Eki out front and why Bettany was all like, hey, yell and say something if you see people coming. Quite frankly, they wouldn't have time to get away, but, still. This is risky and bad. What they're doing is risky and bad.
So what I usually do is I write the whole script for the story beforehand, and then I make a note of every major scene, and then I sit down and I try to design where that scene takes place. And, just sit down and think about who lives here, how is this space used. And I have a lot of fun thinking of stupid details. Like one of the victims of the vampire character in this story earlier, his real divorced guy energy. And she's in his house. And I was like, all right, I'm going to Man Spaces Reddit.
Okay.
And looking for inspiration there. And one of the favorite details that I found that I thought of is a workout bench, like a bench press bench, that is covered in old pizza boxes and dirty laundry.
Fantastic.
So it is very clear that he bought it and then never used it.
There we go.
You gotta have backgrounds that tell a story.
Yeah, environmental storytelling. It's like Iron Circus has run out of a slack, right? And oh wow, your shit is really blurry on the screen. Hold on. Let me see. Can I fix this? No, it's not blurry in here. Huh. No, it fixed itself. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, there's like a delay sometimes. I've noticed.
Okay.
I do have the stream open so I can see what the audience sees.
Yeah, the Iron Circus Slack has sort of a channel where we just post goofums. And a favorite goofum that I posted was, you have to imagine it's like a mall, like a dead mall. And there is a cryptocurrency kiosk in the dead mall. And in front of the cryptocurrency kiosk is a man who is on his knees, like actually on his knees in front of the machine, with one hand clapped against the side of his head, and in his other hand he has a phone like pressed firmly against his ear, and he's just on his knees in front of this cryptocurrency machine in the mall, like clearly on the phone with some kind of customer service person. And I just posted that with just environmental storytelling.
I love the running joke in BoJack Horseman. Congratulations, Diane and Mr. Peanut Butter, one word. And then the next sign is, congratulations, Diane and Mr. Peanut Butter, one word. Don't write one word.
And then, welcome back, Diane. Just say that. I don't know why this is so difficult.
No, it was, Congratulations, Diane. Use pretty font. Diane and Miss had a ball at Diane's 35th birthday party. Underline ball. And then can I see a proof this time? I don't know why this is so hard. Like,
yeah. That, and one of the things I noticed, I did like a recent BoJack Horseman rewatch, and one of the things I noticed is that they keep stuff. Like, stuff that happened is still there. Like, there was a goof in one episode where Todd joined both prison gangs, like both the Latin Kings and I think the Crips. And
no. He joined the Aryan Kings, and he joined the Aryan Nation and the Latin Kings.
Yeah, and he was doing this thing where he was running back and forth between them, and part of the joke was that he had a tattoo on one arm that said Latin Kings and a tattoo on another arm that said Aryan Nation. And, you know, he would roll up his sleeve depending on which side of the prison yard he was on at that exact moment. And he had those tattoos for the rest of the fucking series. Like any other show.
He didn't get the Aryan Nation one. He was smart enough not to do that. The thing is, it's like he was in the middle of getting the Latin Kings tattoo. So the Latin Kings tattoo is like cuts off before it's finished.
Yeah.
So he has half a tattoo.
And the thing is, any other like if it were The Simpsons, you know, those would be gone by next episode. But no, Todd just has them forever.
Yeah,
I appreciate that. I appreciate that dedication.
Yeah, and it's Hollywood the entire series.
Yeah, after BoJack gets drunk and steals the D for Diane and has to cover it up, it's Hollywood forevermore. No one even tries to fucking
until the end of the series, and then it's Hollywood.
BoJack Horseman is some good fucking shit.
Yeah. I love also stuff like the homeless guys going through the dumpster are raccoons. And other dumb little animal jokes.
Like the bird people occasionally crashing into windows of skyscrapers.
Yeah.
I like that too. But yeah, maybe you've seen stuff like that show up in Lackadaisy, where very, very occasionally a person will make a cat noise. Not very often, but they'll do it, and you'll just barely hear it. It's kind of on that vibe. But yeah, I have strong opinions.
And like Princess Caroline's tea is catnip.
Yeah, she has a cat toy on her desk and stuff. But yeah, I have very strong cartoon opinions these days, for obvious reasons. To be fair, I've like always had strong cartoon opinions, but they're more on the production side than they have been in the past these days. And there's just I mean, it's not super insightful. It's just more keenly felt, but it's very difficult to get things done if you don't just want to make like, here's an iteration on a thing a boomer or Gen Xer would recognize. If that's not how you want to spend your career, you are going to have a rough time. And that sucks. That sucks. Like, Scavenger's Reign is a good cartoon, and people feel like they can't get invested in good cartoons anymore because they think they're just going to die after the second season, because that's all anyone will ever pay for, because no one believes in anything that doesn't have a fucking 40-year pedigree anymore. And I never thought I would live to see the day where television is having the same issue that the fucking funny pages had when, you know, I was getting started out in cartoons. It's really fucking stupid that the only way anything seems to really get done nowadays is, well, does it have a 40-year IP legacy behind it? And it's like, where is the room for people to make new things? Like, anyway, That's my opinion. And we will leave it at that. We will leave it just there. We will leave it just there. We will not say anything.
I like when Todd becomes a fashion icon and then you see people dressed as him like randomly in the background.
Yeah. I like my favorite BoJack Horseman bits was when he God, I don't even know if I should say this. Yeah, you know what? It's been over a year. I'm going to adhere to my own rule that I stated in the previous previous podcast. It's been a year. If you really cared, you would have seen it. But there's this bit where, okay, so like a running thing throughout the series is BoJack Horseman kind of idolizes Secretariat, who in this reality is like, you know, a foot racer. He's like a marathoner kind of guy. And he remembers watching Secretariat on TV when he was a little kid and, you know, just taking a lot of inspiration from the things Secretariat said. And so a thing he's been trying to do for ages and ages is make a Secretariat movie that stars him, which, you know, the undercurrent for that is it's kind of absurd because he's kind of like a doughy middle-aged guy and Secretariat was a literal professional athlete. So it's kind of
He was
silly.
a professional athlete that died at 30. So, a out-of-shape 50-year-old man playing...
Secretariat kind of makes no sense. Oh, yeah, Susan B., please mute. Absolutely. Don't let me fucking ruin this for you. But there's a whole bit where, and I think this is in the Secretariat. It's been a while since I did my rewatch. I think this is in the Secretariat bit, where he has a co-star in the film, and he is going through some rough times, like substance abuse-wise and trauma from childhood-wise, and he ends up like on the set of this movie actually choking her out on camera when film is rolling to a degree where he kind of needs to be pulled off of her because he's not sure what's real and what's not because he's too fucked up on drugs during filming to understand what's going on fully. And like people are watching this happen and there's this whole part where people are like, oh fuck, he's really trying to hurt her, and you know they have to literally just wrench him off of her. And there is a lot of damage control after that. And one of the bits of damage control is they kind of get interviewed together. Him and his co-star get interviewed together. And they're like, oh yeah, it was some really serious method acting. It was so raw and real. BoJack really is, you know, a masterclass on character acting, and it's so great how into the character he gets. And no, I wasn't scared at all. Haha. And when the cameras go off, BoJack, who was kind of dreading doing this interview and didn't know she was going to be like this, oh, it was no big deal about it. He's all like, hey, just so you know, I genuinely am sorry. And she just turns to him and she goes, save it, fucking save it. I don't want to hear it. Because you know what? I have worked too long and too hard to get where I am in this fucking industry to wind up the woman BoJack choked. That's not going to fucking happen. So just wave at the camera, say thanks everyone, follow the story the story we've decided on, and don't bring it up again. And I was like, oh damn. I love that. Like, I fucking love how that happened.
What I love even more, Spike, is in the last season, there's the episode called One More While He's Away.
Uh-huh.
And that whole first half of the last season is like BoJack's really getting his shit together and he's making amends and he's being nice to his friends and he's like making their lives better and everything is like he finally does the Joe crossover episode with Mr. Peanut Butter. Mm-hmm. It's a very feel good, like the episode right before One More While He's Away. Mm-hmm. And then One More While He's Away is checking in with all of the characters that BoJack fucked over that are not main characters of the show. Uh-huh. So the audience might have forgot about them. Yeah. Like, they check in with the lady he choked, and obviously people are going to remember her because she was just choked last season.
Yeah.
And how she has PTSD. And then they check in with Kelsey, the director that he got fired during Secretariat. Yeah. And like you'd remember her because like BoJack thinks about her occasionally. But But the one that I really like
Mm-hmm.
is Hollyhock goes to a college party
Yeah.
and runs into Peter,
Yeah.
who is Pete Repeat from and so like Pete Repeat is a great pull because like he is not a character the audience would be thinking about as being traumatized, because everything about that story is focused on Penny.
Uh-huh.
So he is like a side character to a tiny piece of BoJack's sad story.
Right.
And
he looks different
so
because
to
he's
be
an
like,
adult.
yeah, and he's going by Peter instead of Pete Repeat.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, no, it was so fucked up what BoJack did, and it was like this is like a thing that BoJack doesn't even think about that he fucked up.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
And I liked that as a deeper pull.
Yeah, that was really good.
Okay, and we're gonna stop talking about BoJack, and then I'm going to tell Susan to unmute.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's just
I'm gonna, cause there's a delay. I'm gonna like
yeah
count to 10. 1, 2,
Oh, I got
3,
a better idea.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Now I can sing now. Now that Amanda's not on the show. Back in the 90s, I was in a very famous TV show. Do, 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 do. BoJack
I'm
the
BoJack the Horseman.
BoJack. Don't act like you don't know.
Don't know.
I fucking love that. Don't act like you don't know.
Anyway, yeah.
It's a good show. If for some reason you have yet to watch BoJack Horseman, you should. It's one of those rare. Ooh, I'm gonna be salty again. It's one of those rare cartoons that, you know, they allow to exist after season 2. And as a result, it's really good. It's really, really good. It has what the issue with I'm gonna like go on a tirade, and I apologize for this. But the issue that I have with a lot of television production is actually an issue that also persists in sort of America in the business world. And I'm going to tie these together, I promise. You'll see. And this is how I'm going to go about doing it. The deal now with running businesses, and when I talk about businesses, I mean sort of like publicly traded corporations. And you can kind of see this going on with Elon Musk shit, by the way. The deal nowadays is people are CEOs for increasingly less and less time. There was a time when CEOs were in place for 20 years, without exaggeration. Like General Electric had a CEO for 20 years back in the day. And that was considered really normal because that way people who were running the company, they could do long-term planning. They actually looked forward in time more than the next quarterly earnings report. And they could say, well, in 10 years, we want to have this off the ground and that off the ground, so we should start putting money into it now.
At the moment, the only CEO I trust is the CEO of Costco, because he threatened to murder man if he raised the price of hot dogs.
Yeah, but that's kind of what I'm talking about. It's like the CEOs are in place for maybe 2, 3, 4 years now. And when you are in place for that little time, your thoughts never fly beyond the needs of the moment. You're like a fucking husky.
Well, it's also they are legally required to do whatever will make shareholders the most money right now.
Yeah, there is a precedent. There is a precedent for that. That is arguably true. But they aren't legally required to only stick around for like 2 or 3 years, which is what a lot of them are doing. And because of that, there's a significant lack of vision in a lot of corporate structures these days, because what is the point of putting money in R&D if you are not going to be here in 5 to 10 years? Like, why? How are you going to explain to the shareholders, yeah, we are $500 million less rich than we could have otherwise been, but it's okay because I put the money in R&D, and in 10 years they're going to make the best fridge, you guys. It's going to make us so much money. Like, the shareholders aren't going to want to fucking hear that, and you are going to be thought of less as a worthy CEO. So instead, what you do is you fire 10% of your workforce every year and then take their salaries and allocate it to profit, and you play that stupid fucking game of endless growth. Because again, that's what the shareholders want. They want endless growth. Even if it's fake growth, even if it's phony growth, even if it's bad for the long term. Because that is what you are incentivized to do. Because who gives a shit? You're not going to be here next year. You know, you're going to collect your massive bonus a la Elon Musk and check the fuck out. You don't care about this company. It's not, you know, where you're going to set up camp. It's not where you're going to raise your fucking kids. And that kind of thinking has been a serious issue in sort of the corporate structure of America for the past several decades, I'd say. And there is kind of a similar thing going on right now with media. And when I say media, I mean mainstream big budget media, where imagine if you're trying to make a show and you think to yourself, okay, they greenlit season 1, but I don't know if I'm going to get a season 2. They won't promise me a season 2. They don't want to invest in a season 2. So I have to write season 1 as if it's the only season I'm going to get. And maybe halfway through season 1, you find out you're getting a season 2. It's too late. You're halfway through season 1. You're fucked. You have to go with what you've been doing. But if they had been told from the front, it's like, there was once upon a time, it's like, yeah, we'll give you 2, maybe 3 seasons and you can figure it out. Unless something goes catastrophically wrong, you know, you'll get those 3 seasons. And that's where really good television can come from, where you can sit down and you can plan the arc over like 3 years, as opposed to now where you're not sure you're going to get season 2, but you can't act like you'll only get season 1.
So here's the thing, is the getting approved for multiple seasons at once really didn't happen all that often, like in the grand scheme of television.
Well, no, I'm talking about prestige TV though.
Right, and prestige TV is a newer thing. Because one of the things I've been showing Buffy to Iris and Nero, and who have not seen it before. And also hi. And one of the things we're talking about is every season of Buffy except for 2 were written as this could be the last season of Buffy. And I think that worked really well for them, like in the grand scheme of things, because they didn't focus on a big grand arc. It's what's the arc of the season. And funnily enough, the 2 seasons that they knew they were getting another season, in my opinion, are the weaker seasons. So having to like keep the story contained to a season, I think helped the writing, but also Buffy is a Monster of the Week show. Yeah. So like it from the get-go was going to be more episodic than say Sopranos.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm kind of thinking of. I'm thinking of the Sopranos. Like imagine if the Sopranos were being written as if they didn't know where the next fucking meal was coming from.
Yeah. But like Mad Men worked out, like where every season of Mad Men could have been the last season.
True.
So and I think actually I kind of wish more TV shows would follow American Horror Story and Fargo's lead and do like the story is going to be self-contained to the season, but as the show continues, it's going to like continue the same themes and subject matter and explore it from different angles.
By the way, everyone, Scavenger's Reign is coming to Netflix, so how about you watch it?
I thought it was already on Netflix now.
I thought it was on Max, and that's why I haven't seen it.
Well, no, like I thought like it like last month came to Netflix.
It did? Oh shit, cool. I'll have to watch it then.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I'm not an avid Netflixer. Sorry. I don't look very often, everyone.
I just have it on right now because I'm watching Delicious in Dungeon.
Yeah, that's the one where apparently I've been horrifically spoiled for it without realizing it. because everywhere I go, there's like spoiler art about the first season. And I'm like, oh, that's interesting. And I have no idea what I'm fucking looking at. But yeah.
You're looking at monster fuckers.
Yeah, I mean, I understand it. Being a monster fucker myself, I absolutely understand it. But I just, I didn't know what I was looking at. So I didn't realize I was being spoiled. So. But again, it's one of those things where if I cared, I would have watched. So I'm not going to complain.
Yeah.
Upper Decks got canceled recently, didn't it?
Lower Decks.
Lower Decks.
Is not Upper Decks.
Okay.
Yes, it did.
Yeah,
there's one more season and then they're done.
I am not a Star Trek person, so I have not been watching that.
That's the best Star Trek.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because it's stupid.
All I know about it is apparently it has the dolphins.
It does.
Yeah. That's all I know.
Spike, think of every stupid idea you could possibly have for a Star Trek show.
Okay.
And that's in Lower Decks.
Okay. Fair enough. I mean,
There's also a thing that Lower Decks does that I really appreciate is so in a lot of cartoons, if they have a conspiracy theory character who's a joke, frequently the conspiracy theory character is proven right.
Yeah.
And while I do think conspiracy theory character is a fun thing to mine for jokes, I do not like we have proven that the conspiracy is proven right. Lower Decks has a guy who's a conspiracy theorist, but if you watch the Star Treks he's talking about, you know that he's wrong. Like he thinks like basically the plot of DS9 didn't happen and it's an elaborate cover-up and that the government is hiding this secret alien that no one knows or can prove exists. Everyone kind of like nods along, is like, yep, sure, yep. But me, as someone who likes DS9 a lot, it's great that it's like, no, I know that this guy is wrong, so they can have all the funny jokes making fun of conspiracy theorists, but I know they're not going to do the rug pull, and he was right all along.
So, wait, how old is Lower Decks? Can we talk about it or not?
I mean, that's in the first season, so that's fair game by your rule. Okay. So as long as we don't talk about the new season.
Okay. Yeah. So what is the thing he's wrong about?
Okay, so in DS9, the ongoing plot in DS9 is that they are going to war with these aliens from the Gamma Quadrant who are shapeshifters.
Okay.
They could be anybody. And their foot soldiers are genetically engineered to, like, they have two sort of servant classes that they have genetically engineered. Ones are like genetically engineered to have all the skills that they think a diplomat should have, and the others are genetically engineered to be soldiers. And so basically these shapeshifters have taken over the Gamma Quadrant because they used to get killed frequently because people didn't trust them for being shapeshifters. Okay. So they're basically conquering the universe because, quote unquote, in self-defense. That's their justification for taking over everything. And so the whole plot line is about paranoia starts to grow in the Federation because these shapeshifters could be anybody. And they toward the end of DS9, they're at full-out war with this group. And the way that they defeat them is basically by genetically engineering a disease so the Federation can commit a genocide.
So the shapeshifters were right. They were right.
So the main characters do stop the genocide from happening. Like, that's part of the treaty is we'll give you the cure to this virus if you stop trying to attack us. and then we're gonna close the wormhole, so actually we can't really interact with each other all that much.
Okay.
So that's how DS9 ends. So this conspiracy theorist guy in the first season of Lower Decks is like, shapeshifters aren't real. This whole thing is an elaborate cover up for them to like do different war crimes. Like this captain that disappeared, like he was actually a renegade and betrayed Starfleet, and Starfleet is trying to cover up because they're embarrassed. Like he basically thinks the entire plot of DS9 is not real because he doesn't think shapeshifters are real.
So the captain that disappeared, is that Cisco?
Yes.
So they killed the black one?
No, he didn't. He became a god. So.
Oh, okay. I was about to.
That's why he's not in Starfleet anymore. He became a god.
I was about to make a face only I could see, but okay, that's better.
Yeah, he's now an all-powerful, like, and can see all of time all at once.
So he's Dr. Manhattan.
Yeah.
That's not bad. Although I have to say, Dr. Manhattan is one of the better... God, we are all over the place tonight. Dr. Manhattan is one of sort of like the better portrayals of like godhood I've seen in comics. And I think a lot of people, when they talk about, you know, the classics in comics, I think there's a lot of smoke getting blown. But in the specific case of Watchmen and the specific case of Dr. Manhattan, I really like the way he tries to explain to people how he sees the world. And people ask him the question that, of course, you would ask anybody who has godlike powers. It's like, well, why don't you stop this? Why don't you do something about that? And he talks about, you kind of don't understand. Everything is happening all at once to me all the time. And I can't do everything. Like it's physically impossible for even me to do everything. I cannot stop every injustice because that is physically impossible. I cannot change the timeline to your preferences every single time. That is also impossible. Everything is happening all at once. I am both getting married and my wife is leading me. I am both fighting a war and killing my best friend. They are all happening right now forever for me. And I just thought that was really fucking cool. That's a really good way of doing that. They are all happening right now forever. And if you haven't read Watchmen, I personally enjoyed it. I think one of my favorite bits is that the superheroes in it at some point have a billboard up talking about, you know, threats to American freedom and democracy, and one of the things on it was like Negro communists or something, and I fucking enjoyed the shit out of that. Because yes, superheroes would have absolutely tried to fucking kill MLK. Absolutely. That's a thing they would have done. And I appreciate the sort of tacit acknowledgement of that. We just finished watching She-Ra, and like from a textual perspective, whoever is the most anxious person is always right. So reality reflected in fiction, in other words.
Yeah, I'm reading up how like Star Trek describes what happened to Cisco, because I say he ascended to godhood.
Okay.
So all of DS9 is about the planet Bajor was conquered and colonized by the Cardassians, and Starfleet is helping the Bajorans rebuild their culture and society after centuries of colonization.
Okay.
And is also like, do you want to join Starfleet? And Bajor is like, this might be trading one colonizer for another. We don't know. You seem nice, but yeah. So in like the first episode, Cisco encounters these aliens that live in what the Bajorans call the Celestial Temple. And they're basically aliens that see all of time all at once. But because of that, they don't quite know how to interact with aliens that have to stick to one time and one thing happening before another. So the end of DS9 is Cisco like basically transports into their dimension and is trying to get them to understand linear time. But he is now in the dimension where all time is happening all at once. So he can't really interact with the main characters anymore because he's experiencing all time all at once.
So he's Dr. Manhattan, yeah.
Yes, he is Dr. Manhattan. I mean, he can't flick his fingers and blow things up, but like...
Oh, see, those are the two things. Those are the two things I'd be okay with. I want a Death Note, and I want that power. Then I'd be okay in life. All of that.
Because he talks to these god aliens in the first episode, and these aliens are the gods for the Bajoran people. He accidentally in DS9, one of the other plot lines is some of the Bajorans think he's like the chosen one because he talked to their gods. Whereas Starfleet's like, they're just different types of aliens. We talk to weird aliens all the time. So you have like the colonialism plotline, but also the like, are these aliens gods or not? Is there a difference when you reach a certain level of power?
Yeah. Sufficiently advanced technology, indistinguishable from magic, etc., etc. Yeah.
Miss Ellesmere, DS9 was my favorite Star Trek until Lower Decks came out. And because it is talking about like, just because Starfleet's nice doesn't mean they're not colonizers.
I thought their whole deal is they refused to interact with people until they reached a certain technological level.
You have to invent a warp drive before they will interact with you.
Yeah.
But a warp drive is just one of the things that they have. Like, so that's like...
Because the thing is, I am not a Trek fan, but I have been a very bored teenager in the age of only television, where I just watched whatever was on. And that's how I absorbed most of my Star Trek. And I do remember watching an episode of something where it was like Earth at the end of the 20th century, beginning of the 21st century, and everything really fucking sucked. And there was like a straight up like crazy old coot scientist type guy, and he invented the warp drive in his backyard. And I think the reason they were there is they were ensuring, it was like timeline fuckery, they were ensuring he actually invented the warp drive. And it was like a real simpleton warp drive, so it only like did the speed of light. Only the speed of light. And he blasted off into space near Earth, and he entered warp for like half a minute. And it's like, oh wow, it works, yay. And then the episode ended with some Vulcans in their ship kind of like tootling along nearby.
So Spike, you are describing the plot of one of the movies.
Oh, am I? Okay.
Yes.
And
that is...
yeah, the Vulcans are like, hey, we have a warp signature. Do we have any like, class 1 entities in this galaxy? It's like, well, there's this one planet, but it is pre-warp. And they're like, not anymore. Reset a course and inform the Galactic Federation.
Well, no, so the Federation doesn't exist at that point.
Oh, okay.
So the Federation gets made afterwards, because it's Earth started the Federation.
Oh, okay.
And so the Vulcans only noticed Earth existed because of that warp signature.
Yeah.
So the Federation,
like, they knew humans were there, but they didn't talk to us because we didn't have warp.
Yeah. Because why would you?
Because we're gross. Yeah.
Yeah. The rule of one of the things that gets criticized for the one Star Trek Enterprise is supposed to be a show that's like before Kirk and Spock.
Okay.
And that show is supposed to be right before they make the Federation, or like they're just playing with the idea of maybe making it.
Yeah.
So they haven't made the rule yet. And so
So they're fucking everything up.
yes.
Okay.
But just because a society has a warp drive does not make the Federation unable to colonize them, because like Bajor has warp drives, but obviously got colonized and brutalized by Cardassia for centuries. So they don't really 100% know what their culture would look like if they hadn't been colonized. And while Starfleet is helping them with the like repairs and reconstruction of their planet, like, would they just be building a carbon copy of Earth?
Right.
And Earth's ideals is one of like the conflicting things.
Okay. I mean, absolutely, I do not. Oh, okay. So you are correct.
There's also there's a fun line of dialogue from Quark, the Ferengi guy who owns a bar in DS9.
Yes.
Where he gives one of the Cardassian characters a root beer. And he compares the Federation to root beer because it's sweet and bubbly. And he says it like as an insult. It's so sweet and bubbly. And he goes, and the Cardassian guy's like, yeah, and also kind of like gross. And he goes, but if you drink enough of it, you start to like it. And the Cardassian guy goes, how insidious. And then the Quark is like, it's kind of like the Federation that way. It's like, it's great. So it's like, so from the Ferengi's point of view, they're like, you're slowly trying to force us to be like the Federation.
Well, Ferengis fucking suck, so I can see how that
yes,
would be an
issue. Yes,
they
do
suck,
them. And that is textual, but like, should the Federation force them to not suck?
Yes, they should. Next question. Like, I don't know much about Star Trek, but I know what Ferengi do. So yes, the answer is yes.
Yeah.
There's just not a lot of fucking hemming and hawing with me when it comes to, but should we force them to allow their women to wear clothes and be equal citizens?
No. They force their women to never wear clothes.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just, we should. Next question. That is not the brain teaser. No, you subjugate half your species. The answer is yes. You should be more like us. The end.
Yeah. They're space libertarians. They're awful.
Yeah. There we go.
They're funny in the context of the show, but they are awful.
Yeah, they're fucking gross. Yeah. By the way, I know this is a weird way to do panels. Do not try to tell me how to do panels in Clip Studio Paint. I know how to do panels in Clip Studio Paint. I simply do not like it. I will never do panels the correct way in Clip Studio Paint because I prefer doing them the wrong way. I think it looks better.
The other thing that I like about DS9 is, so you know how sometimes sci-fi things get the Planet of Hats problem?
The Planet of Hats problem. Elaborate on that one.
That is when a whole society is like this one thing. This planet, everyone must wear a hat, and that is how they're defining that species and culture. The trope name is Planet of Hats. And so, you know, you have the stereotypical Klingons are all warlike. You have the stereotypical Vulcans are all logical or whatever.
Yeah.
But so there's a great plot line in DS9 that just because the Ferengi are all space libertarians
Mm-hmm.
and space hypercapitalists
Yeah.
does not mean all Ferengi are that way.
Uh-huh.
So there is a kid Ferengi who's the nephew of Quark, who, as the show goes on, he decides to join Starfleet.
Uh-huh.
And at first they're like, he's up to something because Ferengi are always like trying to manipulate things to make a profit. Like and so they're trying to figure out what's his angle. And it ends with the kid saying, basically, my dad is bad at capitalism. So I have watched him get screwed over and over and over again because he is bad at capitalism,
Uh-huh.
but he is a brilliant engineer. Like, the reason why my uncle keeps him around is so he doesn't have to pay someone else to fix all his shit. Because my dad can fix anything. And if he had lived in a society that values engineers rather than capitalists, he would be doing great.
But he doesn't.
But he doesn't because he grew up in space capitalist society.
Right.
So he is good enough at this kid Ferengi is good enough at capitalism to realize his dad is bad at it, and he is maybe closer to his dad than his uncle, who is good at capitalism. So he wants to join Starfleet because he thinks he's a better engineer than a capitalist, and Starfleet values engineers.
Okay, fair enough.
So it's nice because it's like society valuing a thing does not mean the entire culture, the entire people are that.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so I also like that sort of storyline. And then it answers a dumb question that I had watching every other Star Trek, which is, what do people on Earth do if they don't join Starfleet?
Nothing. They do nothing.
The ants, yeah, that is. They relax, they have fun.
They're not paid to join Starfleet. They just join it out of a sense of duty and adventure and shit.
Yeah, basically.
It is fully automated luxury space communism.
Yeah. Sisko's son, his story is all about how he does not want to join Starfleet, and he's going to be a writer. And then also Sisko's dad is a cook. So
doesn't have to be. Doesn't do it for money. He just is.
Yeah. Sisko's dad likes cooking, and that's why he's a cook. And Sisko's son decides that he likes writing, so he's gonna be a writer.
Yeah. And that is what happens when you don't have to worry about how am I going to feed myself doing that. Oh, fucking... Here's the thing about that. It's like depressing to think about, and sorry, I'm going to make everyone real sad. A version of that kind of world is within reach now. We just refuse to receive it.
Yeah.
That is literally something... I mean, obviously we're not going to have fully automated luxury space communism, but the thing is, we could have UBI. We could easily have that. We could all easily be getting a check for $2,000 a month. Like, it wouldn't even have to be like a fucking huge check. A check for $2,000 a month. Everyone, upon age 18, could be having that. And the government wouldn't even fucking groan under the weight of it. But we don't have that. Despite the fact that every study ever conducted about UBI shows it only has positive aspects to it. It only ever works out really well. Every single fucking UBI study shows that everybody is happier, healthier, more peaceable, and get along better if they get UBI. And every time that study is conducted, every time there's a pilot program, every time something like that happens, we go, oh, that's interesting, and then we just don't do anything.
Did you see conservative states are trying to preemptively outlaw UBI?
It doesn't even exist yet.
Yeah,
It's it's fucking wild.
they're trying to outlaw the ability of counties to enact UBI programs.
Even though it's like, that's how you know they're not rational, and that's how you know they don't care. You know what I mean? Like, they don't care about what works. 100%, it's not about what works to these people. It's not about what actually
it's about
improves things.
power and the ability to abuse people.
The cruelty is the point, as was popularized during the Trump era. The cruelty is the point. And they just pass laws specifically just to fucking hurt people. Like, just no rationale behind it. It's literally just there to hurt you.
No, the rationale is it's easier for me to control you
if you're poor.
If you're desperate and poor. Yeah.
If you're not getting a check for $2,000 a month at the beginning of every month to help supplement whatever it is you're doing, you are less likely to feel you have no other choice than to join the army, or no other choice than to join the Navy, or no other choice than to take a crappy job with crappy pay. You know, you can actually pass on that job and be like, no, I'm good. I'll just, subsist off this $2,000 until I find someone who will pay me what I'm worth. And that kind of society is an anti-capitalist society. And it's fucking, I'm sorry, I'm going to go insane if I think about this much longer. I'm going to stop. Like, I can see the carpet, like a big red carpet at a film premiere, rolled out in front of me, and at the end of that fucking carpet, el problema es el capitalismo, and I'm like, no, don't do this again. Don't do this again. Stop. People are tired. Stop. So I'm going to stop. Besides, it's preaching to the choir. If you're here and you know about this fucking stream, you probably already agree with me. So I will stop. Pencilers, it's honestly funny because the same people are big mad that people don't have children. Seriously.
No. They're big mad. The right people won't have children.
Well, no, they need warm bodies for the army, so they'll take all kinds of brown and black people too.
Well, I think what Pencilers is talking about, like the conservative pro-natalist people. They're always upset about declining birth rates in the Western world, quote unquote.
Air quote, the Western world, air quote, yeah. Yeah, you really care about the Western world.
I read that article about that's going around about the pro-natalist couple, and I was literally like, all right, countdown to eugenics. How many paragraphs?
Yeah. It's just one of those things, though, where it's like, please stop looking at them. Please stop giving them attention. Please, it's like, seriously, please just... They are working you over like a speed bag. Please stop looking at them. But no, every other day I gotta fucking turn around and see someone breathlessly reporting on these fucking idiots. Like, can you just like not get played for 5 minutes? Can you just not get played for 5 minutes? Yeah.
Yeah, Pencilers. No, I read the whole thing. Where he's like, tigers do it in the wild.
He slapped his toddler. Pencilers, did you get to the bit where the guy slapped his toddler in front of the reporter? Ugh.
Yeah. No, I read the whole thing. Yeah, he slapped his kid in the middle of the interview. And the interviewer is like, also like, the mom was like, oh, I'm so bored after I have a baby. And then the dad is like, I hate babies, but I love toddlers. And then he smacks his kid. And he likes toddlers because he can put them in front of an iPad and then ignore them. And
it's so Elon Musk. It's so just fucking shitting babies out everywhere and not even wanting to be a parent.
Yeah, it was, and the reporter is like, for someone who claims to like want to have a lot of kids, he sure seems to hate kids.
Yeah. Yeah, and again, this may be hidden. Oh, hi, Abby Lark. I didn't know you were in here. What's up? Yeah, and speaking again, this is something I bring up a lot because it has formed who I am as a person a lot. So I can't help but bring it up a lot. as the child of people who definitely saw children as an obligation as opposed to something to be involved in the lives of, I have a pretty good idea what those kids' childhood is going to be like. And it makes me hate the parents a lot. A lot.
Oh, Spike, their
Mhm.
childhood's going to be even worse than yours.
Uh-huh.
They're getting homeschooled.
Of course they are. I don't know why it would ever not immediately occur to me. Of course they're getting homeschooled. Oh, fuck's sake.
Yeah.
Of course. Of course. Of course. And the
Yeah,
thing that
they're
fucking
getting homeschooled, so they're getting even worse childhood than you.
And the thing that fucking drives me nuts about there's like zero fucking qualification. There's this whole thing on Reddit a while ago. There's a thread on Reddit a while ago about someone who was in those "Am I the asshole?" That was the forum, the subreddit. Excuse me. Am I the asshole? And it was about someone going, "My family wants me to apologize to my kooky granola sister because I laughed at her when she said she wants to homeschool her kids. And when she got offended, I asked her a bunch of basic questions that she didn't know the answers to and made her cry in front of family." And the general story was, she was all like, "Yeah, when my kids get old enough, I'm not putting them in school. I'm homeschooling them." And he goes, "Why would you homeschool them? You hated school." And she's like, "I can teach them everything they need to know." And he started asking her, "How many planets are there? Can you name the most numerous gases in Earth's atmosphere? What is this capital of this state?" And she didn't know like the answers to any of those, and it embarrassed her, and she started crying. And he started being like, what makes you think you're qualified to teach children? There's like so much basic shit you don't know. And everyone's like, "That was mean." And he's like, "Am I the asshole?" And in my opinion, no, he is not the asshole. Because here's the thing. We've tried the whole leaving education solely up to the parents thing. We tried that before there was a public school system. It clearly wasn't fucking working out. That's why there's a public school system. That was an improvement. And now there are people who, quite frankly, 90% of the time, it's not about, I want to give my kid a superior education to the public school system. It's, I want total control over my child. They're not your fucking property. That kid's going to have to grow up and live in a fucking society with everybody else's kids. And they better be fucking ready for it.
There's a YouTuber I started watching because they did a video where they went undercover in a bunch of TERF Facebook groups.
Uh-huh.
And almost all of them, like the thing all the TERFs had in common is they were mad that their kid was doing something they couldn't control.
Yeah, it's a control thing. It's absolutely a control thing. And it's insane because it's like you are making sure your child is ill-equipped for dealing with society. Your kid will not thank you for making them more ignorant. They're going to be away from you at some point in their lives. Your entire job is making sure that day they step out of your house to never return to full-time living with you under your thumb ever again, is that they don't get fucking flattened by the first thing that comes along. And a lot of people don't give a shit about that. It's just about control. They don't care. Well, my kid needs to learn how to socialize and navigate. Like, don't get me wrong. High school's bullshit. High school has some bullshit socialization crap going on. It is not reflective of the real world in any fucking way. But you know what? It teaches a bunch of lessons. Lessons that are shitty, but that we all have to learn about how shitty other people can be. And you learn those fucking lessons, and you scab over, and then you're ready for, like, fucking Veronica in accounting. And a lot of these kids are rolling out here, and they are not ready for Veronica. And it's their mom's fault. In my opinion. Yeah, Abby Lark.
I thought middle school was worse than high school.
Abby Lark, they think of their children as extensions of themselves, not individuals with their own... Exactly. Fucking exactly. That's the same thinking that makes dudes who, like, lost their job and don't want to tell their families that they don't have any money left, go home and kill their entire families. Because they think of their families as extensions of themselves, not actual individual human beings with rights.
Personally, I think middle school was harder than high school, but...
Entirely possible. I mean, everyone's has a unique experience, you know?
Yeah,
and I am speaking in, like, sort of broad generalizations here, but it's kind of the same...
Personally, I feel like the older I get, the better my life is because I have more control over my life.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. My life is better now than it's ever been. With the exception, I'm a little fatter than I'd like to be. I should probably do something about that. But, me and the rest of America, I should probably fix that.
Like in high school, I didn't mind high school that much, partly because I was done with other people by then. I was like, you go fuck off. And so middle school or elementary school put me through a ringer. So
yeah, it's just, but the thing is, like, you are kind of like kids aren't real. Like they're not humans. They have to like figure shit out. They have to figure out how, with their particular skill set, with their particular interests, with their particular preferences, how they're going to navigate the world. And if you are surrounded by people who, like, their only interest in you is controlling your behavior, you're going to have a bad fucking time. Because you can't stay with mommy and daddy forever, no matter what they tell you.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have a bad fucking time. Because one day, you're going to be 42 and have no idea how to deal with other people, and your parents are going to be fucking dead. What are you going to do?
Spike, do you remember the sexy potato, Am I the Asshole?
What?
The Am I the Asshole for eating potatoes too sexily?
I missed that one, Kel.
Oh, that one's great because it's a journey. It's a journey of
it sounds like a journey.
Ridiculous human beings that this very silly complaint led to the poster uncovering a whole bunch of office bullshit. The Am I the Asshole was, am I the asshole for eating potatoes too sexy? And basically, this lady was like, I'm of Japanese descent.
Okay.
And when I eat a potato, I eat it the way my parents taught me, which is common in Japan, which is eating it like a hot dog.
In a bun?
Well, just like holding it, so like they're holding the potato and they're eating it the way you would eat a hot dog in a bun.
They put it in their hand and pick it up and bite the end off.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
And so because that's how they eat potatoes, when they buy potatoes, they try to get potatoes that are thinner and longer, more hot dog shaped.
Okay.
One of her coworkers said that she was eating her potatoes in a suggestive manner, and was doing it intentionally to make this person uncomfortable, and had been buying increasingly sexy potatoes to have for lunch.
God, this is a you problem. Wait, is this the person who complained? Is it a man or a woman or what?
It's a woman.
Okay, all right.
Oh, but it's still a her problem, Spike.
Oh no, it is absolutely a her problem. 10,000%.
It goes so deep.
Yeah, this is your mind.
This is the beginning of a saga.
Oh my god, this is insane.
So, people were like, wait, you need to explain. Like, so some people asked for videos of how she eats a potato. She's like, I'm not doing that. That's a trap. And then basically someone was like, could you just tell her to stop watching you eat?
Yeah.
To which they're like, no, you're only intentionally eating it this way when I'm looking at you. And it's like,
what the fuck is wrong with your brain?
So then they're called into HR because the other lady reported her for sexual harassment.
What the fuck?
And literally, they're like, the HR person was like, are you fucking serious? And
God.
was like, basically, stop watching her eat.
Yeah, if it bothers you so much, don't watch her eat.
And then she gets another HR complaint from this woman, which is, you are bad-mouthing me to everyone in the office. And she's like, all I did is I asked other people, is the way that I eat potatoes bothering you? Because she was like, wait, because she was checking to be like, is this a me thing? Like, am I accidentally doing something wrong? So she checked with other people, and they would be like, no, why would you ask that? And it's like, so-and-so's complaining about it. And it was, so that's like, that's quote-unquote bad-mouthing her around the office.
How dare you tell people how I treat you is abuser shit.
So then, there's another person whose food this lady complains about in the office.
Oh my fucking God.
A man of Indian descent.
Okay. So is this like
who is eating
racism
curry
thing?
for lunch. It is a racism thing.
Oh my God, of course. Of course.
So she, like, got really mad at this guy for bringing curry in the office because it, quote unquote, like, the smell is too intense.
It's literally just,
and
oh my God.
he was like, where I'm from, people have this for takeout all the time and eat it in the office all the time. And she's like, well, this isn't India. And he is like, I'm from London.
So she's just racist. She's just racist.
There's layers, Spike.
There's more?
Yes, there's more.
How is there
So,
more?
finally, this lady has made enough bad faith reports to HR that they, like, won't listen to her anymore. But also, these two Asian people filed a harassment complaint about her because she keeps harassing them about their food.
Good.
And then she then confronts the poster in the parking lot to be like, this is targeting me for being Christian. You're trying to get back at me for being Christian.
Wow.
And you've been doing this since I started working here, and you saw the cross on my desk. And she's like, what the fuck are you talking about? And she was like, as soon as I put a cross on my desk, the next day you showed up with a pride sticker. So the person eating sexy potatoes is a lesbian. And so there's homophobia in the mix too. She was like, you have flaunted that pride sticker to make me as a Christian uncomfortable, and also you have been eating these sexy potatoes because you are trying to seduce men and flaunt your queer lifestyle in front of me.
So the lesbian is trying to seduce men. That's her rationale.
Yes.
Oh my fucking God.
Yeah.
Please tell me she got fired. Please tell me she got fired. Please tell me she got fired.
She was told to work from home.
Oh, God. And you know how she spins this in her fucking Facebook group, you know?
Yeah. So it was a journey.
Oh my God. And I know you can just imagine, like, if you have an imagination, you can picture how she tells this story. Holy fuck.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh my God, that's fucking insane. Oh my God.
I'm never gonna forget this Am I the Asshole, because it's a journey.
Neither am I now. Jesus. What the fuck? I feel like the world is a worse place for just knowing that exists. Figure out Ta's weird.
Beautiful post.
That's horrifying.
Horrifying but beautiful. Yeah.
There we go. And there. See, we have to put Ta's their little fat little chubbykins face. There we are. I used to be a union rep at a government department back in the day. This tale as old as time. I'll bet, like, the fucking craving for self-victimization some people have.
When she reported the racist homophobe lady,
Mm-hmm.
her boss said a thing that he should not have told her.
Uh-huh.
Because people are like, you could sue your boss if you really wanted to.
Uh-huh.
Because when he made this complaint, he sort of thanked her for making this complaint.
Oh.
Because he
Yeah.
hates this lady.
Good. Yeah,
But she is.
Mm-hmm.
Can you guess why he can't fire her?
Seniority? Why?
She is his wife's cousin.
Oh, of course. Okay, there we go. Nepotism would have been my next guest, I swear. Oh my god. Yeah. Some people are just like, you can't say it. It's not like the answer, but it's like, fucking get a hobby, please. Leave the house. Stop. Whatever forum you're on, leave.
Go touch grass.
Go touch
Unless
grass.
you're
Whatever
me.
forum you're on, leave and go touch grass.
Unless you're me, don't touch grass if you're me.
Yeah, don't touch it, because then you'll just be a snot ball for the rest of the day.
I saw a post the other day that was I have seasonal allergies because my body decided kink shaming trees was more important than breathing.
Always with the nepotism, yes, seriously. Oh my god.
I love that description of seasonal allergies. Kink shaming trees.
I'd rather have seasonal allergies than the allergies I have. Like, everybody who apparently lives in an urban environment for an extended period of time, I now have developed a dust allergy, and it sucks. I didn't use
You gotta get an air filter.
I know, right? I have to. And I can understand how I
developed. It has helped.
Yeah, I can understand.
That's the worst thing, is when it's like, oh, this thing helps, now I have to keep doing it.
Yeah, I need to get one of those air cleaning things for sure, because I know this place is dusty because for some reason the bathtub is where all the dust congregates. So we'll clean the bathroom, and then we'll come back like 3 days later, and there will be like just the beginnings of dust bunnies in the bathroom. And you're like, where the fuck did you come from? So they're coming from somewhere.
You gotta get an air filter.
Yeah. But also, it's 10 p.m. and I gotta get dinner.
All right.
So everybody, thank you for coming. Holy shit, 25 people. Thank you so much. That's really cool. And we just hit 2,200 followers on the Iron Circus Comics YouTube account. That's really cool too. Thank you so much. Y'all are the best. Please like, subscribe, hit the little bell so you get a notice whenever we're having a new episode of Geek Show. I will try to be less dour next time around. I'm Spike. Hi, I run Iron Circus Comics and Iron Circus Animation and Iron Circus ... coming soon ? If you pay attention to my social media, you could probably already guess what's next. I am very active on Blue Sky under Iron Spike, all one word. IronCircus.com is the website for Iron Circus. You can also find us on Instagram under Iron Circus, all one word, and Iron Circus Comics on Facebook. We're also on Blue Sky under Iron Circus Comics, all one word. Please follow us for all the news, and also follow us on BackerKit. We're Iron Circus Comics on there, and every time we launch a new crowdfund, you will be the first to know. You're going to want to know about the next one. Trust me.
I'm Kel McDonald. I make comics you can read at kelmcdonald.com. I also stream at twitch.tv/kelmcdonald. I do art streams on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. And this Sunday, you should come join me as I play Baldur's Gate 3. I am being a murder hobo. Who is trying not to be a murder hobo. He's a beautiful tiefling murder hobo. I don't like social media, so don't look at it. It's
fuck
bad.
social media.
Social media is bad for you.
Yeah.
As presented by Sexy Potatoes Lady.
Yeah. Whatever, and again, it applies to everyone. Whatever forum you're in, fucking stop going.
All right.
Fuck you.
Have a good one, people.
Yeah. Happy Trump convicted felon day, eh? Have a good day, everyone. Bye.
Bye.